Falling is real, rising is a choice. We've all fallen, in silence, in tears, in this disappointment you can't put into words. Falling's part of life, and it is real. But in the cracks of hope, there is one thing only you can decide. Will you rise or stay silent in the pain? Falling can happen to anyone, but rising is a decision only by the brave. You're not weak because you fell. You're human, and exactly because you're human, you've been given the freedom to choose. To not stay down in your lowest point. The ground is hard, but not as hard as the will of someone who refuses to stay down. Today you might feel shattered. Today you might feel empty. But as long as you can breathe, you can rise. Rising isn't about sudden strength. Sometimes rising means just taking one step today, 2 steps back tomorrow, then 5 steps forward the day after. The process isn't shameful. The process is glory. And every time you choose not to give up, you're rewriting your life story. Not as a victim, but as a champion who's courageous enough to change their destiny. Don't wait for someone to pull you up. Be the first hand that reaches out to yourself. Rise, not for those who left you, but for the you that deserves to be fought for. Because at the end of its pain, there is an unbelievable story about someone who fell the hardest, but chose to rise the highest. You are that person. Life is a struggle. There is one undeniable truth. Life is not a smooth, straight path. Life is a steep climb, unpredictable storms, and darkness that test the fire inside you. Every morning you wake up, every breath you take, every dream you keep fighting for, even when the world says that's impossible. You can give up, or you can choose to stand back up, even if your knees shake. Because those who survive aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who rise with a fire bigger than their fall. Look in the mirror. That's not just a face. That's the face of a fighter, a human who wasn't made to surrender, but to conquer. Don't wish for an easy road. It's the struggle that forges your soul into steel. Calm waters don't make tough sailors. Storms make legends. So when you fall, say this: I will rise, not just for me, but for those who still don't know they can rise too. Because your life isn't just yours. Every step you take, every scar you carry is a message to the world that hope is still alive, that struggle still matters, that life is worth fighting for. Be the light in the dark. Be the voice for the broken. Be the proof that a hard life can become a great story. Because in the end, life isn't about how often you fall. It's about how hard you fight to rise. Now go out there and prove it. You were built for this. Keep fighting, even when you're hurting. The wound is real. The pain is there. Sometimes the world hits you where you're at your weakest, but that's exactly where your greatness is tested. Not when you stand without burden, but when you stand while bleeding and still push forward. A true warrior is not the one who never cries, but the one who cries, then still fights. You have been hurt. You have been betrayed. You have fallen countless times, but look at you, still here, still standing, still walking. Don't hide your wounds, because that's where the light of your struggle shines from. You may not be healed yet, but you're still burning. And as long as there's a flame, there is hope, there is strength, there is a chance to rise. Don't let the pain silence your voice. Don't let your tears put out your determination, because every scar is proof that you fought back, and you're not done yet. The world needs a living example, an example that someone can keep fighting even with a shattered heart. That strength isn't about muscles, but about a spirit that refuses to die out. So today, even if your heart is still bleeding, fight, not because you're untouched, but because everything you love is worth fighting for. And one day, people will see you, not as a victim, but as the one who said, "Look at me, I was hurt, but I didn't give up." Victory is not a goal, but the result of perseverance. Everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to be on top, but not everyone is ready to climb with wounds on their feet and wit in their heart. Because victory is not a prize from luck. Victory is the fruit of perseverance. When you keep moving, even when the world tells you just stop, when you keep fighting, Even when no one sees, no one cheers, that's when your real victory is being forged. Winning isn't about who's fast. It's about who doesn't quit even when the road is slow. We live in a world that only celebrates results. But what they don't know is the process is what builds true champions. You may not be standing on a podium today, but if you're still standing tall in the middle of the storm, you're stronger than you think. Iron isn't sharp just because of its shape, but because of fire, pressure, and consistent strikes. That's you, a warrior forged by struggles, yet never broken. Don't let others to keep going when giving up is easier. You've already won. Inside your soul. Failed today? That's all right. Fell down today? That's human. As long as you haven't quit, you're still on the path to victory. True champions don't chase victory. They build perseverance, and victory comes to them. Keep moving, keep fighting, keep rising. Your strength is your legacy. Strength isn't just muscle. It's not about loud voice or big strides. True strength is impact, and that impact becomes legacy. Every time you choose not to give up, every time you rise from your wounds, you're writing something bigger than yourself. Your strength is not just yours. Your strength is a silent message that resonates in others' hearts. When you endure, your children see you. The people around you feel inspired. And without realizing it, you're giving them permission to be strong too. Free legacy isn't what you leave in the bank, but what you leave in the souls of others. Not titles, not popularity, but the mark of your strength, living on even when your steps have stopped. Have you ever thought that the wounds you suffer today might be the source of hope for someone tomorrow? Your story is a map, your persistence is a lighthouse, and your courage is a gift. Never underestimate your decision to keep standing, because that's what becomes your legacy. That you lived, that you were strong, and because of that, others now believe they can be too. Build that legacy today. Not through grand words, but through simple actions born from a heart that never quits. Because in the end, your strength is your legacy, and your legacy can change the world. There is a struggle greater than personal victory. It's the struggle to become a torch for others, to be that small flame that ignites fire in hearts that are starting to dim. Every step you take, every piece of grit you show can be a sign to those lost in darkness. I've been there and I came out. You can too. The world doesn't need perfection. The world needs someone brave enough to be real. You don't have to be strong all the time, but when you keep walking, even when you're tired, you've already become an inspiration without even knowing. Light never asks darkness if it's needed. It just shines. And that's you. Those who witness your fight, who know you weren't born into ease, but still chose to build, not complain. That's the kind of courage that breathes life into hope. You may not have a grand stage, but every small act of kindness, every bit of determination becomes a lighthouse for souls about to sink. Never underestimate your impact. Sometimes the smile you give, the words you speak, the struggles you endure become the reason someone holds on for one more day. Keep fighting, not just for you, but for those still searching for a reason to believe. And when you feel alone, remember this. A flame doesn't need a loud voice to warm. It just needs to stay alive. Because in the end, our purpose isn't just to reach the finish line, but to ignite souls along the way. Stand up, shine bright, keep striking the flint. Someone's fire is waiting on your spark.